Hey guys, this is Hayes with CheatSheetPros. It is 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, and I wanted to go ahead and take a look at some NFL price picks. Typically, when I post the NFL cheat sheet, I do it on Tuesdays, and I update it again on Friday. I'm on PTO next week, or this next week, for the Thanksgiving holiday, so Friday was an extremely busy day for work, and I completely just whiffed it and forgot Saturday. So Sunday morning about 7 a.m., I got up, drank my coffee, said, okay, got to get a sheet update. So you can see there are a ton of prize picks and player props in here, and what is really good about this is we can see the last, 8 weeks of games. So week 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, all the way back to week 3. And we can kind of see what they do. We can see what the last 4 average is. We can see the hit rate, how often they're going over. That's typically what I sort by. And then we have our updated PFF projections, RotoWire projections to find any differences. However, I don't like projections, so I like looking at like the last 4 average and finding differences. And there's some that really jump out. So for example, Tony Pollard, the first one up top, his price pick line today is 42.5 rush yards. And I just ran this at 7 o'clock this morning, so it hadn't changed. Over the last 4 games, he's averaging 109. So you can see in week 10, he had 115, 131, 83. So he's gone over this in 3 straight games. That's 4 straight games, 5 straight games. The purple -99, that's a bye week. I just needed a numerical value to represent a bye. But look how often he's getting over that. Now here he was close, but 86, 83, 131, 115. I like him to go over again today. Justin Jefferson, he looks pretty decent. He's averaging 135 and his line's 95, but he could see a lot of Trayvon Diggs. So Trayvon's not going to shut him down by any means, but 95 is a lot of yards for him to get in a tougher matchup. He's been doing well, though. 193, 115, 98, 107, 154, 147. Look at that, 6 games in a row with 98-plus yards. So if you wanted to go that route, I wouldn't be against it. And here's one I would have never looked at without this sheet. Donovan Peoples-Jones. It's going up against Buffalo. It's a little tougher. They did move that game, so you don't have to worry about the wind and snow. But his line is only 47.5 yards. His last 4-game average is 83.7. And he's got 99, 81, 71, 74. So he's easily going over this 47. So that's one I would look at. Jared Goff, pass yards. There's going to be some weather here. I don't really like this one as much. His line's 226.5. He's averaged 230.5 over the last 4 games. You can see 236, so he was barely over. He was way under, went way over, and then barely over, barely over. So that's some of the things I look at on the weekly log. So he's barely squeaking over that. So even though he's got a high hit rate of 86%, that's one I'm probably going to stay away from. 1, just the weather. 2, I want someone that can crush the line, that they could get it by halftime or easily get over. Or when they do go over, they're going over by a large margin. And seeing this gap in this last 4 is one of the indicators we're going to look at. Algier, 35 yards. I'm not really going to mess with him a whole lot. I don't like anything for Atlanta, really. As far as player props, I want to take high usage players. McLaurin receptions is interesting. Houston secondary, Houston everything is really bad on defense. It's 4.5. He's been averaging 6. And you can see over the last 4 games, he's had 5, 6, 5, and 8. So I don't mind that. 5 feels like a floor, but again, 4.5 to 5 is pretty close. So you have a narrow window there. Coming down here, one that really jumps out is Patrick Mahomes' pass yards. It's 290.5 over the last 4 games. He's been averaging over 400. So you can see this gap of 109. So that's huge. So he's had 331, 446. That's a bye week. 423 and 338. So he's crushing that 290. And Kansas City doesn't really run. I live in KC, so that's one of the teams I watch the most. So I really like that one. But this sheet's key to use, and I mean, it's amazing to be able to have these weeks to go back and see kind of what they've done for this stat in recent weeks. And you can sort by last 4 average, you can sort by hit rate, but you can pull this up and start building price pick cards with minimal to no research pretty quick. One of the things I also like to do is sort by this last 4 average and see where the gap is. and find these ones that are, averaging 20 or more. And so we can see Patrick Mahomes rush yards. That's the big one. Tony Pollard rush yards. Joe Burrow pass yards. So that's an interesting one. 252. He's averaging 306, but it was basically that 481 games. So you can see under, over, and a bye week. So that one big game is what's propelling him up there. So you can get an eye on that. Justin Fields rush yard. Everybody knows that's a hot one. He's averaging 116 over the last 4 games, and his rush yard number is 71. And you can see he's got 147, 178, 60, 82, 88. So he's been over that in 4 or 5 games. So he consistently tends to get over that. So I like that one. So that'd be kind of a fun one. Do Mahomes pass yards, Pollard rush yards, and then Fields rush yards. That'd be a good one to start a 3-legger. Foreman rush yards is interesting. It's only 58.5. He's averaging 97. And look, he's got 130, 118, 118. So 3 of the last 4 games, he's went flying over that number. Donovan Peoples-Jones, we've looked at that one. Look how many overs he's got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 6 overs in the last 6 games, putting him up at an 86% hit rate. And again, just kind of flip down here. Receiving yards for McLaurin is 59.5. He's averaging 92.5 over the last 4 games. Look at that, 128, 113, 73, 76, 102, and then he's got a couple down games. But basically his last 4, he's really been picking it up. And he missed this only by 3.5 yards, and then he's been over. So 3-0 with a 3.5 yard miss. That one's not too bad. But flip through here, find some games you like. And yeah, hope you guys like it. We spent a lot of time building the game logs with the help of Jessica. And now we have some fun tools we can play with and build some blinds.